Welcome to The Crooked Climb with Suzanne and Denise. Life and business are not linear. Let's get moving with honest, reliable, and unbiased information you can use to master life and business. We've all experienced life's ups and downs. In this show, Suzanne and Denise are committed to moving onward, upward, and most of all, learning from the biggest challenges we face in life and business. Join in the conversations with experts in their respective fields of health, wellness, personal development, fitness, and fun. And that's not all. Your path to self-mastery starts here. No climb is a straight line. Goals are achievable with clear targets. The ascent begins now.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to The Crooked Climb. I'm Denise Stiegel. I'm the CEO and curator at livinghealthylist.com and one of the hosts of The Crooked Climb. I'm here with you today with my co-host, Suzanne Taylor King. On our show, you can truly expect real, honest, reliable information that really touches on those things that you are struggling with, those everyday challenges that you might be experiencing in your life, in your business, or in your career. We will show you that when you do three simple things every single day, life will be so much better. What are those three things? Nourish, move, be. Truly do those three things and everything in life comes together. Each week, we give you these tips and tricks, maybe some little nuggets that you can incorporate into your life from the moment you hear them and truly up level to your healthy, happy lifestyle that you have been searching for. You can find The Crooked Climb on Transformation Talk Radio, Apple, Spotify, Google, anywhere you get your podcasts. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate that. Hello. I'm excited. We have a guest today. We will be talking with Miss Diane McClave with the Choice and Courage Company. We'll be talking with her in a few minutes. Before we get to say hello to Diane, Suzanne, how are you doing today, my friend?
Well, amazing today. I just got back from an incredible lunch with a client, and it's 70 degrees here in New Jersey today in the middle of November. It's beautiful. I can't get much better than that. And we get to talk to Diane today. So if there was anybody in this world who was a third mind of the two of us, I think it's Diane.
I think you're right.
Truly, from conversation number one with this woman, I knew that we were going to be connected forever. She's stuck with us now. Too bad, so sad.
You're stuck, Diane. Sorry.
You're stuck.
We come as a pair.
Nice. Yeah. We come as a duo, that's for sure. What's new in my world? Nothing much exciting except getting ready for the holidays, which, it's the perfect time to talk about what we plan to talk about today. I think this is a unique time of the year for courage, for choice, for standing in your beliefs, and also for taking that time out for yourself to just be. And that's one of our pillars here at The Crooked Climb. So I'm excited to dive in today. Diane McClave is a transformational coach. She is a brainstorming wizard, and she deciphers things like nobody I have ever met before. She can take what you're thinking out of your head, out of your mouth, and literally put it on paper, make a drawing, make a logo. I don't know how she does what she does, and maybe we'll get into a little bit of that today. But I'm proud to say I have been a client of hers. She's been a client of mine. We've had sessions that I'm not sure who the coach was and who the client was. It's been so amazing. And I'm just happy to call her friend, collaborator, and there's some exciting things coming. Diane, check in with us.
Wow. man, I'm just kind of basking in all of that. I love being a part of the duo brain. I love the fact that the three of us are collaborating together. We've talked about it for a long time. And now, because we have the holidays and our shows are back to back, we thought, why not do part one and part two? And it's awesome to be able to collaborate and mix and match the Crooked Climb with Choice and Courage, and using common platforms between our programs and between our businesses to really accentuate how we can help people over the holidays. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. And let's be totally transparent, like always, with our audience. We just talked about what we were going to talk about literally 5 minutes ago. And it was so easy. Now, I don't know if you guys listening have ever experienced working or collaborating with someone where you just say something and it clicks. They say something and it clicks, that you could sit down and talk for hours about. Feel comfortable being in that person's home, feel comfortable eating a meal, going on vacation, going on retreat with that person. That's who Diane and Denise are for me. Everybody in my life is a D. This is really interesting. My husband,
He's Dennis.
my bestie. Interesting. So today, Diane, I would love to bring a little bit of choice and courage to our holiday choices of who we spend time with, what side of the family, whose house are you going to, what food are you going to have, and really standing in those confident choices. I'm going to let you kind of take that question and that thought and run a little bit.
Yeah, thanks. So for the people who are listening but not watching, there's two really large plaques on my wall. They're homemade cedar that I burn words into. They're important to me, and one is choice and one is courage. And I really want to pause for a minute and remind our listeners that we really do have more choice than we often tell ourselves. We're led to believe by our families or societies. And we don't always get to choose what happens to us, but we definitely get to choose how we react, how we respond. And there's a difference between reacting and responding, which I think we can touch on. We can choose if it shapes us, how it shapes us, what the story is, what the words are that we use when we tell the story. And we get to choose if and how and when that thing defines us. And so when it comes into the holidays and we feel like we're obligated to go to that place, I guess the first thing that rings true for me is if people start to resonate, if they start to feel anxious in their body, their gut, if they kind of have this, I hate going to this place, right? There's a moment there that we can use some positive intelligence and some emotional intelligence and some healthy living aspects. And we can say, do we have to? What if we didn't? Or what if it was different? Or why not try something new? Denise, what do you think about that? You're nodding your head.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important. This is something that Mark and I did a handful of years ago. His family's down in Texas. My family's on the East Coast. And my family, we would go to my family for Thanksgiving, and then we'd go back and, see them for Christmas. And it got to the point where it was like back and forth. And it kind of took the celebration out of it because we were all in the same house. And so we consciously made a decision that Thanksgiving would be our holiday together, just the two of us. If we wanted to go visit Mark's family, we could do that. But what we decided instead was really to just take the holiday and enjoy it, do the things that we like to do. And we've been doing that now for probably 10 years. And it's made the Christmas holiday that much more special because it's a little bit longer time since we see my family, especially my mom. And so when we get to see her, we're excited to see her. It's not like, oh, we just saw you a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And truly, in the beginning, that was really hard for me because I was always the one to, host the holiday, have people over for dinner. It's got to be perfect. I do all the cooking. It's got to be a certain way. And I would drive myself crazy to make it perfect for everybody else. I was that person.
I think we forget, I'm going to let Suzanne chime in, but I think we forget to take care of ourselves when we bump up against a sense of obligation. We have a tendency as women, especially, but as humans, we have a tendency to give into that obligation, and then we make ourselves miserable. And one of the things I like, Suzanne and I are working on building a program together about awareness and options. And when you can be aware of how you're feeling, then you can create some options about how you can change that. Then once you create options, you're actually functioning from being in your power, right, Suzanne?
Yeah. Yeah, I really feel like, years ago, I used to host Thanksgiving for between 20 and 35 people.
Wow.
And, it was makeshift tables and turn the pool table into a table, put the kids in the hallway. And I loved doing it. But I will say that I never got to enjoy the family aspect. I didn't get to enjoy the meal aspect. When you're the host every single year, you don't get to enjoy that. And I definitely found, we talked about eating a little too much stuffing, which I don't know if I'm going to change that habit or not, because I really love my stuffing. But I will say, being more mindful and being slower, not hosting myself. So going to my aunt's house, and it allows me to have a different mindset about the holiday. And she enjoys hosting. I don't know. It's not that I didn't enjoy hosting, but it's a lot when you're working full time to do something, to pull something off like that. So I think it's important to remember to do what lights you up, and to have the courage to do that. It took a lot of courage to say, I'm not going to host anymore. But I think when we do that, you get to fully enjoy.
I think also what happens is, the holiday is supposed to be a family gathering, family and friends. And I think we could definitely do better at making it a communal holiday rather than one person always doing everything. I've experienced that in the past, which I thought is really, really nice. When I was growing up, we used to go to my Aunt Marilyn and Uncle Fred's for Christmas Eve. And that was always amazing. Dinner was always fantastic because it was a bit potluck. Now, my Aunt Marilyn did spend a lot of time in the kitchen and ahead of time, but it was really nice because everybody participated. And so you always knew that once we were there, once dinner was out on the buffet, everybody can sit down and enjoy. And I think I think a lot of people get away from that.
Well, and I think that's brilliant. And I live in Washington State. My family's in Michigan. My wife's family is in Denver. It's very difficult for us to go home and pull everybody together. We have this amazing neighborhood that I live in. And we have done exactly that. One person who wants and loves doing the turkey gets that piece. One person who has this ridiculously, famous, healthy pecan pie does that. And what was kind of nice is everybody brought one thing. So they got to highlight their specialty. So they got to bask in that, oh, wow, this is so amazing kind of feeling, which everybody likes. But nobody had to do all the work. We literally, we picked the person's house that had the biggest table and the biggest room. And then we set everything out on the counter. And then literally the rule was just bring Tupperware, right? So then everybody gets leftovers. And again, what I love about that is that's an option. That's a choice, right? As soon as we create options for ourselves, we are functioning from a place of power. There was one year that all of our neighbors, we went to a hotel and had a big turkey brunch.
Nice.
Now, the only challenge with that is you have to take a jacket with Ziploc baggies in it, because if you just wrap the turkey sandwich and the cranberry and put it in your pocket, it's still leftovers, but there's a little bit of a challenge to get it out of the pocket, right?
Yeah.
But from my world, and what I try to teach my clients is that as soon as we can think of something, a different perspective, How could we do one thing slightly differently? You're functioning in a place of power. And when you're functioning from a place of power, we feel better. We don't say those things that we regret around our family, right? A lot of positive things start to happen when we feel not in control, but when we're functioning from a positive, strong, energizing, fulfilling place. So I would challenge our listeners, like, if you have this begrudging feeling about going home to family, maybe you can't just say, hey, Aunt Martha, we're not coming, right? But you could say, hey, we're going to come and we'll be here for 2 hours. And then we've got other people we need to go see.
Yeah.
Right. You can find ways to mitigate that sense of obligation. And the more and Suzanne and you and I and Denise have all talked about positive intelligence, when we can find ways that we can function from that positive place, then we actually serve ourselves and our family and our community a whole lot better.
Oh, I mean, I 100%. I think when, we have a negative story in our head about the things we have to do, or, it's an obligated type feeling. I don't think positive emotion comes from that. I would love you, Diane, to give our listeners some examples or maybe some tips for expanding that that mindset. That how do you develop more perspective, more choice? How do you remain open to other things that are available to you? What would be your top tips?
I mean, honestly, the top thing is literally look at it from a different perspective, right? Okay, so I'm just going to do this for our visual listeners, right? We're in a Zoom box, we're looking square on, but what if I just did this? What if I just changed my chair a little bit and I talk to you over my shoulder instead of a squared on kind of way? That's a different perspective. Like, the two questions I love asking are what if and why not? What if I didn't have to go to my relative's house? Why wouldn't I try something different? Right. I mean, and then I think the other thing too, for me personally, I try to play, right? How can I make this more fun? Right? Okay, if I have to go to Aunt Martha's house, do I have a new game I can bring where I can say to everybody after the meal, hey, I'd love to show you a new game, right? Play for me is how I keep a positive mindset. And the other thing too is, I guess I realized that no decision we make is ever permanent. Right. And just before the show, Denise got her hair done, and there's some things that she likes about it, some things she doesn't like about it. And the reality is she can make a change, right? Like, she's going to go fix it. So not taking ourselves too seriously, giving ourselves permission to do something different or ask a different question. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think the most important piece of that, obviously, is to make those choices, but to stand it and to be okay with it, to, say to Aunt Martha, hey, Aunt Martha, this is what I'm thinking this year. And this is what I want to do or what I need to do. And then be okay with that. Because, Aunt Martha could either be like, oh, okay, that sounds like a great idea. Or Aunt Martha might be like, well, no, this is how we've done it all the time. This is how we're doing it. And so do you kind of cringe and go, oh, okay, Aunt Martha? Or do you say, well, I get that, but this is what I need. This is what I need to do.
Right. And by the way, I think Aunt Martha is a wonderful woman. To anybody who has an Aunt Martha, we're totally not dissing on her. All right. I have a quick story about that. There was a young woman who was making a turkey for her family, right? And she cuts the turkey in half and puts it in the oven. And then she's like, why do I do this? And she asked her mom, and her mom's like, well, that's what your grandma taught me to do. And grandma's still alive. So the young woman goes to grandma and says, why do we cut the turkey in half? And grandma says, well, that's what my grandmother did. And when they got to thinking about it and they looked at it from a different perspective, the original grandma only did it because the oven wasn't big enough to take the whole turkey. Right. Yeah. But generationally, they got stuck in well, that's the way we've always done it. Right. And I think what's powerful is to say, what if we did it different? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when people started like deep frying their turkeys, that was like, for some people was like, Wait a minute, that's
How
not how
dare
we do
you?
Thanksgiving.
How dare you deep fry the turkey?
But how much fun is that? You don't have, you keep the oven space, so you don't have the turkey in the oven.
Mhm.
You cook it outside. I thought it was great. I know people still poo-poo it, but I thought it was a great idea. It's different. It tastes different, because let's be real, most of us have turkey for Thanksgiving and then again at Christmas.
Mhm.
Boring. Let's shake it
What
up a bit.
about, does anybody talk about putting turkey on the grill? Like a rotisserie grill outside?
I've experienced that once, and the skin was so beautiful on the outside and it was completely not done on the inside. So I think you have to have somebody that's like their high level expertise. But
I think you'd have to
look
have
at you.
You'd have to have the right equipment.
Right, but look at that. How easy was it for Suzanne to say, has anybody ever thought of something different? Has anybody ever thought of doing it a different way?
But
right?
I'm gonna say a little something funny.
You are.
To all the blonde-haired girls out there who help their hair be a little blonder. We've all thought at one point or another that low lights seemed like a good idea. That your hairdresser seems to think it would be a good idea to balance out the color of your roots and put some dark patches in there. And I want to know if any of you were ever happy with those darker pieces. I've done it numerous times, and note to self, never do it again.
Never do it again. You don't understand the pain that we go through. I'm telling you, my friend, it's like constant. But again, going back to the choice, I chose to see what the difference would be. And then now I'm choosing again to change it back.
Don't they make apps where you can try on different hair color?
And they never work with your coloring and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, squirrel.
You guys totally crack me up. Right? And here's the thing, right? To our listening audience, you might just go, how did we just go from talking about choice and courage and cooking a turkey to hair color? But that is the whole point of the Crooked Climb. It is not a straight path. We will get you from here to there, and you're going to have some scenic overlooks, and you're going to be like, where are we? And then we're going to bring you back, and we're going to remind you that this is life. The way we have conversations, the way our friendship is, the way we run our businesses, it's never straight. And even if it is, it's probably pretty boring. So I love the fact that both of you two can just start having a funny conversation about hair.
Well,
right?
We always insert a little squirrel moment for all of those online entrepreneurs out there who get distracted, but need to be brought back to the reality of being in business, taking good care of your health, nourishing your mind, body, soul, and really, I think that's what courage as an entrepreneur is all about. We have to appear in public, right? We have to show our faces. We have to, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. There's, aging pressure, wrinkling pressure, gray hair pressure, do I wear makeup? Do I not wear makeup? Do I put lipstick on today? Do I there's so much that goes into it being a woman, being in the public eye, that the holidays just add another layer of stress to that. So we like to bring a little humor in when we can.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that. Well, one of the things, just talking about, to simplify things, I don't know if you guys notice this, but I wear black a lot. It's easy. It goes with everything. And if I spill something on it, you won't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things, my closet is totally full of black tops, sweaters, jackets. And it really does just simplify things. Like you're saying, life and business gets hectic. The holidays do bring another level. And so it's just easier just to say, okay, I'm going to wear this black top today, as opposed to worrying about what else does this match? Does my hair go with it? Yeah. Whatever that conversation that you have in your head may be, because as good as the three of us are conversing with each other, we've got constant conversations going on in our own minds. And the three of us are incredibly positive people and forward-looking people, but I know I have days and moments when, I'm not this person who you see here.
Well, all the reason to, I love how you just said it, all the reason to simplify, right? Whether it's your wardrobe or whether it's how you think about your family or whether it's the meal you make for your family, really one of the tricks of getting through business and life is to keep it simple as much as you can.
Absolutely.
And I'm really excited because we get to continue this conversation, everyone. It's so crazy how 30 minutes just flies by. So we're going to continue this conversation on Diane McClay's podcast, and you'll get to go right from this episode right to her episode on her podcast. Diane, tell us a little bit about your podcast, and then we're going to jump over there and continue.
Well, it's just the Diane McClay Show, and it's where we help people empower their life and engage their choice. And we're going to do just that. It's at 1:30 on the second and fourth Friday of every month on TTR. So we'll see people on the other side. Part 1, part 2.
All right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up and then head over to the Diane McClay Show and finish this conversation. You've been tuning into The Crooked Climb with Suzanne and Denise, available on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you would find your favorite podcast episodes. My website, SuzanneTaylorKing.com, is there for you for business resources, and the LivingHealthyList.com is there for all of your health and wellness resources. Join us every second and fourth Friday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time for the editions of The Crooked Climb. We have some special things and interviews coming up for the holidays. So hope to see you there.
Thank you for tuning in to The Crooked Climb with Suzanne and Denise. Life and business are not linear. Your go-to solution for honest, reliable, and unbiased information you can use to master your life and business. To connect with Suzanne, visit thetailoredconsultingagency.com. That's tailored, TAYLORD. And to connect with Denise, visit livinghealthylist.com.